Hi, I'm Suzanne Stafford with SPU Rowing.
Suzanne, the crews started the season last week at the PLU Invitational. Your thoughts on that regatta?
I thought we came out and did what we intended to do, and I'm really excited to go into the next race this weekend.
You were in the Varsity 4 that had a really convincing victory over a couple of very good crews. Why was your crew so good on Saturday?
I think one of the things our coach talks about is a boat personality, and all the people really came together in that boat, and we were jiving really well, and you could just feel how much each person was contributing with each stroke.
Right. New this year, the Great Northwest Athletic Conference is sponsoring rowing. There are five members in that. All five are ranked among the top 7 in the country. Really tough conference. Because of that, they have awards, and they have a weekly award they've just started, and the inaugural Crew of the Week was that Varsity 4. Your thoughts on that honor?
I was just really proud of our whole boat. We weren't really sure how we would stack up against Western Washington, since our Varsity 4 has never beaten them before, and it was really inspiring to see our hard work pay off.
It's really early in the season, and rowing's unique in that the lineups are not set. There are people jumping from boat to boat as coaches try to figure out how to get the most speed out of the boats. How difficult is that as a rower to be moved here and there, or potentially?
I don't take it as being too difficult. I mean, the first time you get in the boat, you have to adjust to a different stroke, but once you take a couple, you should get right into it. And just knowing that whatever switches he's making, hopefully all of the boats will improve, because you just work well with a certain person or your pair partner or boat.
Well, Falcons fans have an opportunity to watch the SPU rowers in action. This is the lone home regatta of the year. It's the Falcon Regatta. Western Washington and Central Oklahoma come here to Lake Washington Ship Canal. What does it feel like to get to row in front of spectators here at home?
Spectators, I try to tune out because I don't like tensing up, and especially they'll be right in the canal, so right toward the finish line, and just keeping your head in the boat and not making too big of a deal of having people watch you.
They talk about a home court advantage in some other sports. Is there a home water advantage?
There's a bit of a home water advantage, just because when we're going down the canal, I can see specific things that I'll see every day at practice and know that's how far away I am. So the advantage is just having more awareness of where you are in the course.
This is the second Falcon Regatta. It took a year off last year, but in 2018 was the inaugural one. You participated in that. What do you remember from that event?
Most of what I remember is just seeing the track and thinking to myself, okay, I've got another 15 strokes to go, let's make them good.
You've been in the program now a few years. How are you different as a rower from when you started?
I'm much more technically proficient than I started out. My first year was just getting in the swing of things, knowing what an oar was and that it was supposed to go in the water, and now just how the path of the blade is supposed to be, and just all the little things that add up in the end to many seconds.
You're one of really great large core returning rowers and had success last year, 4th at the NCAA Championships. Although you've added some very good novice rowers this year. What advice either have you told them or would you give them in their first year in the program?
Most of what I've said was don't get bummed out in the winter when it's cold and dark and we're erging a lot more, because the spring is where all the fun is, and now that we're starting to see those races, I think the novices are getting more and more excited, and it's fun to have everyone get to participate in racing.
Let's talk a little bit about yourself. Tell us where you're from.
I'm from Clackamas, Oregon. And
for people not as familiar with the Northwest, what is that near that they might know?
About 30 minutes out of Portland.
Excellent. Why did you choose to come to Seattle Pacific?
I came to Seattle Pacific because I wanted a smaller school that was far enough away from home that I didn't feel obligated to go home every weekend, but close enough that I could if anything arose that I needed to go home.
Perfect.
And they also have an excellent pre-med program.
And I was just going to ask you about your major. What are you majoring in?
I'm double majoring in biochemistry and honors humanities with a minor in bioethics.
Okay, that is a mouthful and very difficult courses. How are you able to juggle those difficult majors with rowing and other things?
It's certainly complicated, and I feel very tired at most practices, but having people in my classes who I can work with just to get through the notes and homework and be efficient with my time is the only way I can get through it.
And where do you see yourself occupation-wise taking this? What do you see yourself doing?
Orthopedic surgery is my goal.
Excellent. Great. And lastly, with the virus scare in Seattle more so than some other places, the campus, along with some others in town, have opted to not have in-person classes but to go online. How has that impacted you, and how has that gone so far?
Well, it's week 10, so most of the professors have finished up with their lecture material at this point, so the online classes really haven't had a huge impact on my learning, and the only thing that I foresee being complicated would be finals, because they have to adjust how they are testing us.
Great. Perfect. Suzanne, thanks so much for your time. Congratulations on the award, and good luck this weekend.